Take one. Greetings! Jerry Ultimate Power Gamer here with my second 3rd edition battle report. I've got Terrainaholic Bill here. It's going to be my Empire Dust versus his Abyss. He hasn't played a 3rd edition game yet. He doesn't even have his book, but you know, we're going to do a report and just see. To keep it simple, we're going to do the kill scenario, 2250 points. What are your thoughts on, well, you haven't seen the rulebook, so you want
Interesting. It seems to me like they did a ton of fine-tuning. I just hope that it doesn't make it more difficult for veteran gamers, but we'll see. We'll play the game and we'll see what's going on.
Okay, so we got the table set up. We're going to go over that and over the armies here in just a moment. Action. Okay, so we're starting off with Bill's Terrainaholics Abyss Force. Here on the left, that is a horde of Abyssal Grotesques. That's an ally. Right over here, we've got 2 hordes of Lower Abyssals. They both have the Sacrificial Imp upgrade. Behind them, we have 2 hordes of Molochs. They both have the Sacrificial Imp upgrade as well as the Despoiler Champion. There in between the Molochs, we've got a Harbinger. Right over here, we've got 2 troops of Succubi. They have the Pathfinder upgrade, both of them do. Behind them is another Harbinger. Over here, hidden behind the building, we've got 2 troops of Gargoyles. This is a Tortured Soul horde, and they have the Brew of Speed, or Brew of Haste, so they have +1 speed. And then behind them is the Archfiend of the Abyss, and he's got the Blade of Slashing. So that is Terrainaholic's army. Let me go over the table real quick. So right here we have a building. We're going to say that's height 5. There's an obstacle. We have a cornfield or a plowed field right next to the building. We're going to call that flat, difficult terrain. Right here is a height 6 wood. Here's another building with another flat, difficult terrain. There's another height 6 wood there. Here's a height 6 wood here. We have another building, obstacle, flat, difficult terrain, and then another height 6 forest. So that's the table. We're going to go over the Empire Dust now. In action. Okay, right here, starting on this flank, I've got a horde of Guardians. Behind them is a regiment of Scavengers. Right over here, I've got 2 regiments of Mummies. Behind them is a Pharaoh who's got the upgrade to give the Mummies elite and melee. Right here is a horde of Revenants. They've got the Fire Oil. Behind them is a Cursed High Priest who's got both Heal and Surge, and also has a Conjurer's Staff. I've got 2 hordes of Guardian Archers right there, and over here I've got a regiment of Skeleton Horse Archers. They've got the Brew of Strength, and next to them is a King on Great Worm, Undead Revenant King on Great Worm. He's got the Blood of the Old Ones, and then behind him, see if you can see it, is another regiment of Scavengers. So that's my force. We'll be right back after the dice roll, see who goes first. Okay, so here we are. The Abyss actually won the roll to see who's going to go first, but he gave it up, let the Empire Dust go first. So after the Empire Dust turn movement, basically everybody kind of moved up, kept a somewhat straight battle line here. Both Guardian Archers halted, of course. They took shots at this horde of Lower Abyss, did 13 wounds to it, and were able to waver it. Over here, the Scavengers, the Skeleton Horse Archers, and the Great Winged Revenant King just shifted there to be positioned for something else later on. So that's the end of the Empire Dust turn 1. We'll be right back after the Abysses turn 1. Rolling. Okay, so here we are, the end of the Abysses turn 1. Bill, what'd you do over here?
Brought those grotesques up to threaten. Moved my other forces forward. Yeah. I decided not to bring these guys through on a march, which I don't think they could do anyway. Yeah. Right.
But you did use your Sacrificial Imp.
I did use the Sacrificial Imp here to bring a 13 back to a 5.
Yep, got 8 with it.
Brought these guys up to begin to threaten.
Okay. They didn't have to double. They both had Pathfinder.
Yep. Right. And I brought everything up here to put it within range of everything on this flank.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of the Forces of the Abyss turn 1. We'll be right back after the Empire Dust turn 2.
Yep, recording.
Okay, so here we are, the end of the Empire Dust Turn 2 movement. Basically, these scavengers who were behind the Guardians here charged the Grotesque to try to stop them up. I did 2 wounds of damage to them, didn't do anything, but I'm staying engaged to keep them where they can't move. Here, the enslaved Guardians just came up and did a little pivot. Basically, this whole front line moved up here. As I said, the scavengers just wanted to slow that down to give me a chance to advance. These guys just advanced. I wanted to make sure I had my surge options and my inspiring. These guys both did a halt, both archers. I unloaded on the lower abyssals. I did 15 wounds and was able to rout them on the second row, so they're gone. Let me take those off now. Yep, at 19. Over here, the horse archers, well, let's start off with first. Because of how we're set up here on the flank, I wanted to make sure I wanted to be able to threaten the meat of his army, and since the part over here is so far away, I wasn't worried about it. My Revenant King on Great Worm just did a pivot and at the doubled to move here so that I potentially can go over and threaten that way because nobody here can see me. The scavengers also did a pivot and at the double. I just wanted to make sure I was out of everybody's arc, so that's what they did. Here, the Skeleton Archer Cavalry basically just backed back and then pivoted. I wanted to be out of both of the charge arcs, or the, not charge arcs, but the charge range of both of these. And then I took my shots here at the stealth unit. I was able to do 1 wound, but didn't do anything to him. So that's the end of my turn 2. We'll be right back after the Forces of the Abyss turn 2. All right, so here we are, the end of the Forces of Abyss turn 2. What did you do over here, Terrainaholics?
Backed him up, got a wound out of it.
Regen 1, yeah.
Regen 1, backed up, pivoted to get me out of his charge range.
Okay, and then you had him move in, so you inspired everybody.
Everybody.
Okay.
I went for a swinging for the fences kind of move. I needed to roll a 5 and a 5, but I side charged.
You tried to stop me to disorder me so I couldn't fly.
Couldn't fly. Moved these guys in to get extra coverage, so now they got stealthy and they got coverage. Okay. Splitting attacks from both of those shooters.
This is right.
Yep.
There. Okay.
And I'm threatening. Basically giving these guys time to have the cavalry show up and save the day. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so we already did he did the 1 attack and he did not wound here, so that's the end of the Forces of Abyss turn 2. We'll be right back after the Empire Dust turn 3. So here we are, the end of the Empire Dust third turn. First thing I did over here, my scavenger regiment that was right here did a rear charge on this unit of Molochs. That opened up for, and in the charge they only did 1 whole wound, so nothing, they're just staying engaged. Over here, the enslaved Guardians charged the Grotesques, got them up, did 12 wounds, got them up to 13,
correct,
and broke them, so go ahead and pull them off the table.
Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead and make this adjustment here. We're just going to pivot to look like that. There. Okay. In the shooting, well, everybody here moved up. I was trying to threaten, and smart me decided I was going to try to do a surge here. But even with my Conjurer staff and my special skeleton rule, I was only able to get a surge of 2, so wasn't able to get anywhere. Here, from over here, my Revenant on Great Worm just did a pivot and at the double to come over here to threaten this flank. He's out of everybody's arc and nobody over here can reach me. Here, both enslaved Guardian archers did a halt. My original plan was to shoot at the Molochs there, but when I moved my Revenant King here, I blocked my sight. So they took double shots here at the Succubus troop and did 4 wounds and wavered them, so they're right there. Here, my Skeleton Horse archers did a pivot move to be out of arc. They shot, routed these in the shooting phase, so these are gone. Oops, those are gone. The scavenger unit that was right here, they just did a pivot and at the double. They're out of the action for the moment. I'm going to be saving them for later turns. Nobody can see them to do anything, so I'm safe, out of range. So that's the end of my turn 3. We'll be right back after the Forces of the Abyss turn 3.
Recording.
Okay. All right, here we are, the end of the Forces of the Abyss turn 3. What's happening, Bill?
Okay,
Well, you charged here to make
7 wounds. Yeah, 7 wounds in this combat here. 6 wounds in this combat.
Well, these guys charged first, hindered, and did 6, but didn't break because that freed up once they were out of the way. You were able to charge
here, right?
Did 7 wounds, didn't break there.
Did a plethora of wounds here.
Did a countercharge there. Took these guys out with 13 wounds, so scavengers are gone. Okay.
And then I moved everybody up to threaten, and
right over here you got your troops. You turned the one troop around, and the one guy there just left them where they were. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so basically that's the end of turn 3 for the Forces of Abyss. We'll be right back after the Empire Dust turn 4.
Ready.
All right, here we are, the end of the Empire Dust turn 4. What I had going on here, this mummy did a counter charge, and this mummy joined him in a charge on this lower abyssal unit here. This unit of revenants moved up, pivoted, moved forward. They were just over an inch away, and I was able to surge them into the flank. Between all 3 attacks, I was able to do 23 wounds, routed them. That's gone. The Revenant King on Great Worm did a nice fly charge on the Harbinger here. I popped my Blood of the Old Ones item, and I was able to only do 4 wounds to him and didn't break him, so he's just stuck right there engaged. The counter charge here, I got them up to 10 wounds, didn't break them, life leached back 1 here. Oh, here I was only able to regen 1, but then I life leached to put me there. These guys did a halt again. They double shot here. I was able to wipe these guys out, so that succubi unit is gone. Here, the skeleton horse archers just came up, pivoted, did some shots here. I did 3 wounds, so they're fearless, so couldn't do anything to them. And here, the scavenger regiment just pivoted and moved to get in position for later on turns to possibly threaten and cause a little havoc. So that's the end of my turn 4. We'll be right back after the Forces of the Abyss turn 4. Here we are at the end of the Forces of the Abyss turn 4. What happened over here, Bill?
Okay, broke him, was unable to pivot.
So you did a sidestep.
So I sidestepped
D3.
as much as I could.
Yep, because that's a new thing we do in 3rd edition.
Right.
Okay. Hit a flank here.
Hit a flank with him.
Did 12 wounds.
Took him out.
Routed him, so these 2 are gone.
Dragon and Gargoyles charged and did a total of 7 wounds.
So we're just going to stay fun there.
And I just moved him as far forward as I could, trying to stay out of his charge arc, and pivoted to accept a charge and try and get as much defense from shooting as I can.
Okay, so that's it for turn 4 for the Forces of the Abyss. We'll be right back after turn 5 for the... Okay, end of Empire Dust turn 5. Well, for shooting, these guys did a halt. I was able to do 12 wounds on those tortured souls, but I rolled Snake Eyes, go figure, so they're still around. Here, I just moved out of charge range of these guys, and I shot, didn't hit at all. The scavengers moved into position to threaten a flank there. So that takes care of that part. Here, the Horde of Revenants did a counter charge against the big dude. I did 6 wounds to him, but didn't roll anything. Here, Mr. Pharaoh charged in, did 2 wounds, didn't do anything, so they're still engaged. These guys pivoted and were surged into the Abyssal Harbinger. I routed them, and they turned to faces. So these guys charged the flank of the unit there, did a whole lot of wounds. That elite really helped a lot. Routed them, and they turned to face like that. So this, slide this over here, this is the end of my turn 5. We'll be right back after turn 5 for the Forces of the Abyss. Here we are at the end of the Forces of the Abyss turn 5. What happened? Bill.
Well, I critically needed this guy to go away, and I couldn't do it.
Did 8 wounds. Because of a new role called Unyield, well, you wouldn't have been able to do anyway, but I'm Mighty. Couldn't charge through me, and he was unable to break me, because if he would have broke me, he would have overran and hit that flank. Okay, go ahead.
Couldn't do enough damage here to get that unit even to a point where I could break it.
Got him up to an 11. Okay.
Pivoted.
Those guys pivoted and ran away.
Yep, got them out of arcs to just try and save points, and put both of them in the front arc of them.
He pivoted to make sure they were in the front arc. So we'll be right back after the Empire Dust turn 6. This is the end of the Empire Dust turn 6. Basically what we had happen, the enslaved guardian archers, they have a new rule called pot shot, which allows them to move, and if they move, they have a -2 penalty to shoot. They moved up to be within range here. I rolled and got them up to an 18 and routed them, so the tortured souls are gone. Here, the skeleton archers just backed back a little bit and took some pot shots here, didn't do any damage, so they're still around. Scavengers charged the Abyssal Harbinger, did 1 wound to him, but to no avail. The Revenant Horde here, countercharge, did 14, got them up to 14 and broke them, so this is gone, and they stayed like that. These 3 units, the Pharaoh did a countercharge. This unit charged in the front, that unit charged at the flank. They got them up very high and routed them, so they're gone, and they positioned like this. The Cursed High Priest just healed, got that down a little bit. So that's the end of the Empire of Dust turn 6. We'll be right back after the Forces of Abyss turn. Here we are, the end of the Forces of Abyss turn 6. What happened, Bill?
Put a wound on him.
Yeah, okay, the counter charge, you did 1 wound and wavered me. Okay.
Wavered him, which blew my mind that I wavered him. And
you did
put 4 wounds there, and
not high enough to break.
Nope, and then just left them sit because they're a hard target to hit right now.
And we already checked; there will be no turn 7, so this is going to be the end. Since basically I only lost 3 units, and he only has 3 units remaining on the table. Yeah. We're going to call that a victory for the Empire of Dust. We'll be right back to go over what we thought of the game. Okay, wow. Terrainaholic, what did you think of your first 3rd edition game?
It's different. There's a lot of, I don't have the book yet, so I don't understand a lot of the nuances. I do like that things stay in combat. All the shenanigans that people were able to pull, they won't be able to do quite as much of that.
Okay.
Movement is still king.
Movement is very important, and there were issues where stuff came down to millimeters because
the whole game.
We here in the power gaming group, we like to be as precise as possible when we play.
We're talking the width of a laser sometimes.
Yeah, but who do you think your star performers were in your army?
I think I had some star performers, but I didn't use them correctly.
Okay.
I was too indecisive. I liked the chasing them down, but it was far too late at that point, and it was completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
I wanted to threaten them, but even getting into combat with them, they're basically still ogres to the best of my knowledge.
Well, I think, you know what, since you won the option to go first, you should have taken the first turn. Then you could have swept the flank to make me react instead of you.
But I would have flown right into the teeth of your flyers. Not that you had a lot.
Well, I'm just saying because you didn't take your move, you had to start reacting. Your whole thing, the first few turns, where you reacted to everything I was doing, and you weren't able to engage in it. So sometimes you can take the first turn. It's good to take the first turn. I think my all-out best units still are my Guardian Archers. Even with the pot shot,
very good. They're a very good unit.
Half shots and stuff, and I was able to take them out. They were almost gone anyway. I think they took out the most units of everybody. Love my mummies. The mummies, and that horde of
always a solid unit.
And I still, even though my skeleton archer cav didn't really do as much this game as they did the game I did against Pitmaster, I still like that unit, and I'll probably be including
They keep the pressure on.
Yeah,
they're a good unit because you can't ignore them, even though I don't see them as much of a threat. So it rides the fine edge of, do I deal with them or do I ignore them?
Okay.
And that screws you up as a general because it makes you less decisive.
Okay. Well, that was a fun game. This is my second 3rd edition game, and
what do you think of 3rd edition games?
Well, you know what? That's for another video because I'm trying to keep. That will be a video podcast. We're going to be going over 3rd edition. As far as the Empire of Dust, shooting with the shooting rules. Once again, the only shooting that bothered me was when I moved the pot shot. Took the pot shots with them. That was the only thing. There were a lot of things like moving into terrain and shooting out of terrain. Didn't have to deal with that. As far as your deployment, you put things in such a way that I was able to get good shots and not have to worry about cover. So that was nice. But yeah, no, I'm okay with the Empire of Dust right now. And once again, that'll be another video where we are, or a video/podcast where I'll be talking about with Pitmaster, our game yesterday, and we're going to go over some of the stuff. But all in all, 3rd edition, it's interesting. There's some more stuff to check into. So well, thanks for watching. Until next time, questions, comments, love to hear them. See ya.
Take care.